you for everyone for joining the Coaching Collective. My name is Desiree Nicholas. I am a social worker, and as of late, I've added mental health coach to my list of things that I do in life. So I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to the people who donated and attended this event. It's being put on by Carico Wellness. It's a nonprofit that aims to service Caribbean people. We are trying to get mental health and holistic wellness as a whole out there for Caribbean people. And we aim to do a lot of work in the Caribbean. We've done some charity work so far, and we want to be able to do more of that. So your donations are helping, and we want to say thank you. And so I want to introduce my brilliant coaches. So we have Kimana Neilstrong. Kimana, you can introduce yourself.
So yeah, I'm Kimana Neilstrong. I'm 31 years old, living in Georgia, and I have a master's degree in exercise science and a few professional certifications in fitness and sports science. And I'm currently working with military police in Fort Stewart, Georgia, to increase their lethality and physical preparedness for war. That's me.
All right. And now I'm going to introduce Jervelle, our nutrition coach.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jervelle, and I'm from St. Lucia, so I'm from the Caribbean. And I feel like I'm really excited, especially to meet Caribbean people like myself. I feel we can relate really well, but I'm also excited to meet international persons as well. A little bit about me: I enjoy hiking, I enjoy going to the beach, and I also lived in Trinidad for about 5 years. I did my bachelor's there, and I also did my internship there as well. So currently I'm a master's student studying clinical nutrition with the University of Aberdeen. So that's just about me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jervelle. All right, Cherise. Cherise is our spiritual coach.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cherise. I'm also from Grenada, but I'm currently in Montreal, Quebec, in Canada right now. I am your spiritual life coach. I help women and young adults ditch perfectionism, find their purpose, find their path, and truly stick to their mission, and basically find their purpose and path and complete their mission here on earth. So I bring a lot of different tools, a lot of ancient wisdom and spiritual principles in my work. A little bit more about me. I'm obsessed with everything that's occult, everything that's a little bit woo-woo. So I'm always like just downloading new information every day to bring to my practices and to share out there.
Thanks, Cherise. And Felicia.
Hello, my name is Felicia Yolanda Callis Guerrier. One of the first times I said all four of the names. I am a writer, poet, nurse, social worker, wellness, and love coach. The reason that I am branded as a love coach because I believe love is one of the highest frequencies. I believe love is what makes the world spin around on its axis. I believe love is the healing balm that the entire world needs. And as a coach, my first practice is bringing agency to make sure that we acknowledge how important our self-love is. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Felicia. So I want to say that everyone here is either from the Caribbean or has Caribbean connection and is culturally competent. And that is really important for the work that we do at Carico, because bringing people like you all together and putting this service out there is really needed for Caribbean people, and it's hard to find. So I'm from Grenada. Cherise is from Grenada. Jervelle is from St. Lucia. Kimana is from Jamaica, and Felicia is married to a Haitian and has Haitian American children. So we're all culturally competent, and we often have very deep conversations about, how different how different it can be, how different wellness is looked at, and how much stigma is around wellness in general in our culture. And we aim to do something about that. So just to start, I want to ask my coaches, when you hear the term mental immune system, what comes to mind for you?
Well, what comes to mind for me is mental health and what you do to maintain your mental health.
What you do to maintain your mental health. Cool. Mental immune system. What about Javel?
Okay, so for me, I know that there's a direct link between our guts and what we eat and our mental health. So that's kind of what comes to mind when I think of that word there.
Okay. So the gut and what we eat, mental immune system. What do you think about, Charisse, when you hear that?
I think a little bit the same what Jervil said, and I also feel like there is something about like maybe regulating our system through mental processes.
Mhm. What do you think, Felicia?
Yeah, so that's such a question. And I was thinking the same, with the nursing lens, but also thinking that our immune system, it definitely starts in the gut, but there's this big connection between stress levels and immunity. So your first line of not your first line, but one of your biggest lines of defense when you think of your natural immunity, it is definitely based around your mental health. So something as simple as a common cold, if you've been fatigued and stressed, you're more prone to getting it. So when you think of your mental immunity, it would be like, what am I doing to make sure that I am capable to not have like a mental cold per se, from having so much stress. And the connection is, is real.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so Felicia and I met through social work because we're both social workers. And this was a big part of our schooling, right? How stress affects the body. And I've been using this term a lot lately with a lot of my clients, mental immune system, and building that, right? Because we think about immune system when it comes to the cold, to cancer, and all of these things. And what we know as wellness professionals is that our health and our mental health should be looked at as one thing. It's together. And that's what a holistic view is all about. So you can be doing everything to take care of yourself physically, but if you're not doing something to maintain up here, then you're missing out on a lot. And your body and mind will show you that. It will show you that. So today we kind of want to talk about what it looks like to build and maintain your mental immune system, right? And that's all about coping. And this is why I started Caricope Wellness, is because, and I put the word coping in there, carry for the Caribbean, and cope for coping, because that's at the core of everything that we do at Caricope. We want to help people to learn how to find ways to get through life, right? And to be intentional about that, right? So there are a lot of things that we can do to cope. Some of us may have a general idea of healthy practices that we can implement in our lives to help us, such as like exercise, going for a walk, doing things like journaling. These are things that a lot of people are talking about now. However, sometimes it's hard for us to keep going with those things, right? And I'd like to hear from our coaches, what are some things you would say tend to get in the way of doing these things consistently? If we know we need to exercise, we know we need to go for a walk, we know we need to journal, right? We know we need to meditate. What gets in the way?
The work, job gets in the way.
Definitely.
In the way.
Say that again, Felicia.
Family responsibilities, if you're a parent,
Yes. Yes,
Um,
it's your parent.
Sometimes certain chronic conditions may come up, so you might be diagnosed with something, and that could throw you off completely. So you have to focus all of your energies on just dealing with that. Yeah.
Mhm.
With that
Yeah,
one.
absolutely. Sharice, what do you think? What gets in the way for you?
Sorry, I was a little unfocused. I was watching it on my laptop. For me, the things that I see that usually get in the way of people doing the things that they know they need to do is a lot of emotional work that needs to be done. It's a lot of like underlining emotions, limiting beliefs that also come up, added with the stress and the work responsibilities and all of that. It's a little bit easier to just go that route and not do the things that we know will like really help us and anchor in the change that we want to have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we can tend to indulge. We can tend to indulge in like what's comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Felicia, it looks like you had a thought.
Oh, I just wanted to say that one of the biggest things that can get in the way is a pandemic. A pandemic can get
Oh,
in the way because the stress behind this pandemic is research worthy, and we can't even really start the research just yet.
yeah. Yeah. This is an ongoing conversation that I have with a lot of my friends. Like in a few years, we're going to start to really have conversations and start seeing the research coming out about what the true impact of this pandemic has been. You know, now we can kind of just talk about it with our friends, right? But soon the science will show us what it's really doing to us. And in a time like this, when a lot of people like our priorities have shifted, that can throw a lot of things off, right? And sometimes even thinking about the fact, and a lot of us had to face a lot of grief. We had to face death. And sometimes looking at that, I think we have a saying in the Caribbean, like, I can't remember like how we say it in the Caribbean, but I know like at least here people would be like, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, right? So I feel like the pandemic kind of increases that kind of thinking, and that can kind of push us to not do the things that we know are good for us. But it's so important to do the things that we know are good, because it's about enjoying the life that you do have. Like, yes, YOLO, you have one life to live. However, you want to enjoy it while you're here, right? So if taking care of yourself will give you the tools to actually enjoy it to the fullest, then that's something like that we should really consider, right? And you know, a lot of you brought up points about job, right? Kids, having to take care of our kids. Javel brought up nutrition, right? And how like sometimes we're so focused on one aspect of our health because maybe we have a condition and we're so focused on that we forget to take care of our whole selves, right? And so sometimes as well, I think it's kind of intimidating for a lot of people to think about self-care. That term is thrown around so often now. Like, it's almost like it's become a trend. Like everybody's talking about self-care, but you'll see pictures on Instagram and it's self-care is like a day at the spa. Not everybody can do that, right? Not everybody can afford to do that. And not everybody has time to go for a 15-minute walk when they feel like they have children to take care of, right? Not everybody gets alone time when they get in the house to do some journaling. So what I really want to talk about today with you is how can we start to incorporate our self-care practices in ways that we weren't thinking about before, in ways that seem a little bit more unconventional, right? And so what that can look like is when you're sitting at your desk at work, what can you actually do to help you get through a stressful moment? Like you feel your anxiety peaking, right? And maybe you have to go give a presentation, or you have to go in for a meeting with your boss in, like, let's say you have 5 minutes. What can you do in that moment? That whatever you can do in that moment, that falls under self-care. Self-care does not have to be this big, elaborate thing, right? And that's where mindfulness comes in. And there are a lot of ways to approach it and a lot of ways to do it. And that's what I work with my clients around, right? So we work on different ways to incorporate mindfulness into their life. Sometimes through like audio, sometimes through learning how to pay attention to what's around them. There's mindful eating, which is something that I was introduced to like maybe 6 years ago, and I thought that it was so cool. I kind of wanted us to do a mindful eating exercise today, but I was like, people are gonna have to go to their kitchens and like get something, and they might not feel, you know, comfortable doing that. But, you know, these are the things that I work with my clients around, and it really, really helps. It really, really helps. And so you're sitting at your desk at work, and if you know how to do a deep breathing exercise, that can do wonders to bring your heart rate down, right? To level you out, to help you to be present, and to remind yourself that you're safe and you're okay and that you can do this. And so it's really important for us, like even those of us who drive, to think about that moment when you park your car and you've had a long day and you're about to get in the house. Instead of just getting out of the car, think about that enclosed space that you're in. Sometimes sitting in the car itself can be so therapeutic when you're alone, right? The acoustics, everything is perfect. So if you can sit in your car and just do some deep breathing, do a mindfulness exercise, that could truly change the trajectory of how you approach your children when you get in the house, right? How you approach your spouse, right? Because you're taking that time for yourself. And so when we think about self-care, it's not about being selfish, right? It's about taking care of yourself, taking care of me. And you cannot, we say this all the time, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So it's super, super important that we start to think about little things, little moments. Like think about what are the most difficult parts of your day and how can you do something during or before that difficult thing that would help ease, you know, ease that tension that we're often feeling. And so I wanted to walk us through a mindfulness exercise. Mindfulness is all about being intentional with our focus. And sometimes for those of us who are new to mindfulness, we may judge ourselves the first time around that we try it, because we'll find that our mind is fluctuating, right? You try to sit and focus on your breathing. You're like, okay, 1, and you're breathing, 2, 3, and then you're thinking about, oh, I need to defrost that chicken in the fridge, right? It happens all the time, and that's how our mind works, right? And that's okay. But it's important to notice that. Notice that your mind is going to something that you don't need to or want to be focusing on right now, and bring it back to, oh, I'm focusing on my breath. So the goal is to notice the fluctuations and bring it back. And when you do see your mind fluctuating, don't judge yourself for that, right? It's normal for the mind to fluctuate. The more you practice this, the more you do it, the easier it'll be, and the longer you'll be able to keep your focus on one thing for, right? So we're gonna try a body scan exercise. That's one type of mindfulness that exercise that we can do. There are lots of different ways, but I want to introduce us to a body scan. And so I'm gonna try to put on some calming music for us, and I hope it comes through clearly. You guys can give me a thumbs up if it does.
Okay. Desiree, I would have to tell you guys now. I have another session. So it was nice meeting all of you, and take care.
Yeah. Thanks,
Bye.
Javel.
Yes.
Okay. So it's very, very important that when you approach mindfulness, that you try to be sitting in a comfortable position, right? I would even encourage our coaches, once we start, to turn your camera off, turn your mic off, so that you can be completely focused and you're not thinking about people seeing you while you're doing this. So, all right, we're gonna get started. Give me a thumbs up if the music is at a good level. Is it good?
No, we don't hear it. I don't hear it.
We don't hear anything yet. Okay, now we're hearing something, but it's very low.
Okay.
Like it's serene.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get started. Okay. So we're gonna start with a few deep breaths in. In through the nose and out through the mouth. You're gonna try taking long, slow, deep breaths. And if you can count to 4 when you breathe in, and count to 4 in your mind as you breathe out. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. During the body scan exercise, you will pay close attention to physical sensations throughout your body. The goal isn't to change or relax your body, but instead to notice and become more aware of it. Don't worry too much about how long you practice. Just breathe slowly. Begin by paying attention to your sensations in your feet. Notice any sensations, such as warmth, coolness, pressure, pain, or a breeze moving over your skin. Slowly move up your body to your calves, feeling those sensations. Your thighs, pelvis, stomach, chest, back, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers, neck, and finally your head. Now spend some time on each of these body parts, just noticing the sensations. After you've traveled up your body, begin to move back down through each body part until you reach your feet again. Starting with head, neck, fingers, hands, arms. Remember to move slowly and just pay attention. Sensations in your shoulders, back, chest, stomach, pelvis, thighs, calves. We're going to take the next minute to continue to notice sensations in different parts of your body. Breathing in deeply and exhaling. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And you can rejoin us. All right. So I hope the audio came through well.
Yeah, it was good.
All right. So now's a good time for us to get some responses from people in the audience. If you feel like turning on your camera and responding, you can tell us what the exercise was like for you, or you can put your answers in the chat. And if any one of our coaches wants to share what that was like for them, if it was new or different in any way.
Well, I'd say it's relaxing. I felt like sleeping.
Yeah, this is a wonderful exercise to try at night when your mind is racing. It's a wonderful exercise for that. It really gets you to notice what's going on in your body, because what's going on in the mind affects the body, right? So if we can notice that, then we can take a bit more control and breathe that out and relax. And it's just all about taking our focus to something that we choose to, rather than all of the things that feel like they're so overwhelming to us. All right, so Sharice said it was very calming. Cool. Is the body scan exercise new to anyone? You can feel free to either respond in the chat or unmute.
Well, it's kind of familiar to something I know as autogenic training, where you focus on the heaviness and the warmth of different limbs of the body. So if you're laying down, yeah, you just focus on the warmth and the heaviness of different parts of the body. They call it autogenic training. But I never heard of, it's a sports psychology thing, but I never heard of a body scan before.
Oh, cool. I would actually like to hear more about that. Like, how is that useful? Autogenic training.
It's a calming technique that's used so that athletes or people who are about to perform, they can block out irrelevant tasks that can make them nervous, and they could help focus on the relevant tasks, with the mental cues that they go through, the mental routine that they go through before they do their form, before they do a play in basketball or something like that. They get nervous before a fight or something. That's one of the things they could do to help calm down.
That's amazing, right? And so if you have people studying to help athletes achieve that, imagine what it can do for all of us if we can learn how to do these things in everyday life, right? And so I think someone is saying something in the chat. So Toria said it's similar to box breathing, which is a breathing exercise that helps me with anxiety and to slow my heart rate. Yeah. I used to try box breathing, or it reminds me of like triangular box breathing with students where they draw. I don't know if it's the same thing, Toria, but they use their fingers and kind of draw a box. So they breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and like keep going like in the shape of a triangle. Felicia, I saw your hand was raised.
Oh, I was thinking about when you asked the question how when I was in therapy, the therapist introduced the body scan as a way of letting each part of the body know that it's safe. And I thought that was something that was so intriguing. It made me want to, study it more. But that's something that she used because I'm a combat vet. So she's like, you need to let each part of your body know it's safe to relax, because she said like soldiers have like soldier shoulders, they call it, even in physical therapy, where we're just tight all the time. The muscles have memory, so they just stay tight and ready and hypervigilant. So she would teach the body scan as a way of letting each part also know that it's safe to relax and that it's safe in the space that I'm in. So it's really important.
Yeah, this is really, really powerful, because like sometimes we can even be carrying the stress in our body, and it shows in our demeanor, it shows in our posture. It shows up in a lot of ways. And sometimes, like for me, I think the doctor diagnosed me with something called TMD or TMJ. And like he was like, oh, we're not sure what the cause of it is. And it's kind of where you get this pain in your jaw and you're at risk for getting like locked jaw. When I looked it up, it was stress related. It's stress related. So you're holding tension, you're probably grinding your teeth at night, worrying about things. And this is what comes from it. It's so powerful to know and to make that connection between body and mind. So we're getting ready to wrap up. And if anybody has any questions, now would be a good time. I would like to let everyone know that part of what Caracope Wellness will be doing soon is offering mental health coaching, nutrition coaching, fitness coaching, spiritual coaching, and love coaching through our platform. And so we're gonna have that ready as of March 3rd. And so we would just like everyone to pay attention to our Instagram account. I'm gonna put it in the chat. carrie.cope, so that you can stay tuned for when those programs are ready for you. We are looking at March 3rd as our launch date, where people can literally start signing up for that. And I'm gonna just give every coach a chance to talk about, well, I'll speak about nutrition since Jervelle had to leave, but I'll give a coach a chance to talk a little bit about what their services will look like. So I'll go first. So we will offer mental health coaching. And that will look like individual services where people can meet with one of our mental health coaches one-on-one. I would be one of those people, and we already have a few other people on the team. For our clients who are coming from the Caribbean, we try to match you with someone who is not from the same country as you. And while we do believe in cultural competency and people understanding your background, we do want to give people an extra layer of comfort, because our islands are very small. And so for example, in Grenada, everybody knows everybody. And so it can feel uncomfortable for some people to seek services and then have to feel like, oh, I'm gonna see this person like at church, or I'm gonna go to a game and I'll see this person, right? So just to take that awkwardness away, we wanna match people with someone who's not from their country. And if you're okay with seeing someone from your country, that's great as well, because we do absolutely believe in confidentiality, and that's why we started this. But so for mental health coaching, we will be offering individual services once per week. And for nutrition coaching, it will be in a group. It'll be group nutrition coaching. So once a month, you get to attend that meeting, and you can work on different goals that you have along with Jervelle. All right, so I'll have our fitness coach go, and then spiritual coach will go, and then love coach will go.
Right, so for the fitness component of everything here, it would be group coaching, but the group coaching will be conducted via an app that you can access through your phone. And everybody will have access to the same training program for general health and fitness. It's not specific to anybody's one goal, if that's something that you would want in the future. And I think Desiree would talk to you about that in the future and how that would work. But that's how it's gonna go, through an app on the phone. And you can communicate with me via text or video if necessary. And every exercise has me demonstrating it. I'll demonstrate it from a front view, maybe a side view, if necessary, a posterior view or a back view. And it always also comes with some coaching tips as well, so that you can see what I'm doing, but also you could probably learn from hearing what I'm telling you, like external cues or internal cues, how your body's supposed to feel against the floor or whatever. And also in the app, you also get to track, blood pressure, heart rate, your weight, BMI, etc. There's a lot of stuff. So if you have any questions, I guess you could find me on Instagram, I guess, or go through Desiree and hit me up, and we can continue talking.
Kimana, you could put your Instagram handle in the chat. Yeah. So Charisse, you can go next.
So for me, it's gonna be group choking. Oh, sorry. I don't know why do you guys hear me echoing?
No.
No? Okay, perfect. So for me, it's going to be group coaching. It's going to be once a month that we're going to be meeting. It's going to be basically different goal setting that we're going to do. So in the beginning of the month, for example, I would come on, I would teach a specific, I'm trying to see, because I still am in the process of finalizing this with Desiree, but basically once a month we would come on for group coaching. Is my volume okay? My phone is telling me
it's okay,
that
but we are hearing a bit of an echo now.
Okay, that's what I thought. Sorry, guys. It's because my internet is not working. So I tried to connect through my phone and now everything is screwed up. Do you guys hear me? Good now. It's
Yes.
clear. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm not sure what you guys heard or what cut off, but once a month we're gonna meet through group coaching where you guys will have an access to live group coaching on whatever it is that you guys feel is holding you back from going towards your goals and towards your dreams. So that is what my group coaching program is about. We are going to be focusing a lot about like I said, the limiting beliefs that we have, the expectations that we may have from others that may cause us stress or cause us, that may just prevent us from like going in our direction that we want to go into and expressing ourselves and expressing our soul expression. So what we work on is basically all of these, and you will get tips, tricks, and practical ways that you can implement these principles in your life. And I'm trying to see anything else that I may forget. You're gonna also have access to me, one-on-one access during this period as well, where you guys can get one-on-one support on a more intimate basis, depending on the goals that you actually have, depending on the goals that you want to achieve. So everyone would be different, but I would start it like once a month. We would meet for group coaching on Zoom, where it would be a teaching on basically the principles that I'm teaching, whether it's manifestation, whether it's goal setting, whether it's mindset work. And the last bit of the session would be live coaching questions. And then throughout that month, you would get one-on-one access to me and like accountability as well. I hope that was clear.
It was very clear. All right, Felicia.
Alrighty, so love coaching always sounds, confusing. Like, what is it all about? But what I do is try to help people actualize self-love as the foundation of all of their relationships, and also to kind of bring us back to self. I have an ebook and it's called I Am Present, because what happens is society tells us who we are. Our family and cultures tell us who we are. And often we are lost in what has been told to us, and we need to come back to who we really are, to the essence of who we are. Do some shadow work to kind of work with our inner child. So that's what my love coaching is all about. I absolutely also do love coaching around couples. So this with Carrie Cope, this collaboration would be very similar to what Charisse said. It would be a group which would meet once a month, and we would actually do some different projects and little techniques that are very, very fun, but also something to just kind of give you an introduction to the type of coaching that I provide. And it would, the goal in it is for you to start to feel more present and to start to acknowledge your self-care as a daily practice. Thanks.
Great. So I have a lot of love for all of you, because each one of you has brought so much into my life with what it is that you do. So with Kimana is a fitness coach, but he's also a corrective exercise specialist. And so I danced for a lot of years, like back in high school, and I had great knees. I could drop it like it's hot, and now I can't. And so Kimana has been helping me work on that, like work on my knees and getting my knees strong again, because like we hear this thing about when you turn 30 and as you get older, things start to fall apart. And Kimana's philosophy is that is not true. It's absolutely not true. And so I have already started to see improvements. Now when I'm going up the stairs, my knees don't hurt as much. And so I'm very, very fortunate to be working with Kimana. Charisse has brought so much into my life when it comes to truly believing and understanding your life purpose. She won't say that, but I believe she's an expert in astrology. She's also like a manifestation guru. And so when you work with her, you'll see that Felicia is, when she said her projects and the way she does her coaching is fun, she's absolutely right. I went to one of her love coaching sessions and it was amazing. It was amazing. And I was intimidated going into it. I'm like, oh my God, like, we're going to talk about relationship stuff. And then I didn't feel uncomfortable being there at all because she used so much fun ways to have us. And I'm not going to tell you what she did, but she used so many fun activities to get us going and to get us to feel comfortable just in a non-judgmental space. And that's the biggest thing. So I encourage everybody to follow these people, follow the Carico Instagram so that you can know when this will all be out. And thank you so much for being here. So next week, we're going to be focusing on spirituality, and Charisse is going to lead next week. The Zoom link will be the same. So for those of you who have donated, you don't have to, again, if you want to, great, thank you, because we are a nonprofit. But you can just use the same Zoom link and join us next week because we're going to be focusing on spirituality. All right, so thank you so much and have a great night.
Hasta luego.
I don't think I saw any questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I saw any questions. Does anybody have any questions before we leave?
Let's just make sure.
I didn't see any questions.
And for next week, the title of our meeting is "You Are More Powerful Than You Think."
Oh, great.
Okay.
All right, so I look forward to seeing everybody, and please let people know if you really enjoyed the session and you got something out of it, let others know and share the link with them, okay? Thank you so much.
Good night.